Now, you were mentioned in the very awesome promo that Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett did when they showed up on TNA. And when your name was mentioned, you got a huge pop. How did that feel to have that crowd react to just your name in that manner?
Yeah, it was really cool, man. It was a cool little moment. I feel that I'd say the majority of those people in that studio at that time are probably the same fans that were there for some of the stuff we just talked about earlier. The matches with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and all those guys, and I think that all those guys kind of miss it just like you do. And hearing my name and being associated with those good memories of TNA in the past, I think contributed to them kind of giving me that little round of applause, which was very cool, and just getting the respect of the fans and that type of atmosphere is priceless.
What were your feelings when the Jarrett TNA situation came about? Obviously, he spoke to you about it. What was your
Yes.
initial reaction?
I think it was a lot of, well, and I know it was a lot of back and forth. It was a lot of, and everything that Jeff said and Karen said. I mean, that honest to God was the truth, and those were some really rough 5 days, just going back and forth and weighing out all the pros, weighing out all the cons, weighing out all the emotional distress and all the stuff that had gone on between the two sides for, gosh, just been gone about 2 years. So it's like, a lot of stuff had been built up personally, not just professionally, but personally between the two sides. And, how do you forget those things? How do you look past those things? And then how do you, shake their hands and say, okay, let's work together. And again, that wasn't a decision for me to make, but I definitely did have my opinions that I shared with Jeff and Karen. But it was a lot of back and forth. When you're presented with uh, such a difficult decision, it's a lot to take in, and you've got to think about. And like Jeff said in the promo, it was a lot to think about, and it wasn't just personal, but he had to think about the roster, the GFW roster, the guys working behind the scenes trying to build this new brand up into something bigger than whatever Jeff has done in the past. So it was a lot to take into account and consider, and I didn't envy Jeff for trying to make that decision.